Since the passing of Tomonobu Itagaki, the Dead or Alive community has been on a roller coaster of emotions. A lot of people have been paying their respects and showing love for Itagaki and his work, but at the same time, others are feeling a certain way about the sudden wave of appreciation for the Dead or Alive franchise. And recently, Emery Reigns was challenged by Master, the community manager for Koei Tecmo America, to get 10,000 likes on a certain tweet. And if he did, he said that he would tell the development team to get started on making Dead or Alive 7. And he actually did it. That's the kind of momentum that should unite us. But instead, we've got fans criticizing others for their newfound appreciation for Dead or Alive, as well as targeting a big name such as Maximilian Dude for paying respect to Itagaki just because he didn't always speak positively about the Dead or Alive franchise in the past. Now listen, I get it and I understand why some may feel this way, but I think that kind of mindset is holding the community back. And if we really want Dead or Alive to return, if we want Dead or Alive 7 to actually happen, I think we need to come at it with a different approach. So there's a lot happening right now, and I want to talk about all of it, the good, the bad, and what it really says about where the Dead or Alive community stands today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now let's get after it. So this is going to be a little bit different than my usual videos. I'm going to talk a little bit more openly because I think we got a lot to unpack. I actually don't really like to get into the dramas of the fighting game community. I've been a lot more positive. I will always want to be a more positive voice and talk about the games that I like, the reasons why I like the games, the guides and everything. That's what I really want to do. I didn't want to talk about negative things. I really feel like what is going on online right now within one of my favorite fighting game franchises, that needs to be discussed. So after the passing of Itagaki, the fighting game community has actually paid a lot of respect towards Itagaki in what he's done for fighting games. It's actually put the Dead or Alive community on a bit of an emotional roller coaster, and it's been kind of a up and down storm. On one hand, we are praising the man and his work, but on the other hand, we are criticizing others for their newfound appreciation for Dead or Alive, going as far as to target people like Maximilian Dude for showing their appreciation for Dead or Alive and Itagaki's work. Now, like I said, I think we should have a different mindset about it, but when I spoke to one of my confidants, Temp, he's been on my podcast before. In fact, he's been the most frequent guest on my podcast. He perfectly summed this up, and I want to read out loud exactly what he said. So this is what he said to me in a direct message. There's some merit to what they're saying though. During Dead or Alive 5 and especially during Dead or Alive 6, it was difficult to have an online conversation about the game without the haters shitposting about jiggle physics. This was so common on event hubs. And on top of that, the people who understand the game at a deep level were far outnumbered by the people spreading misconceptions about the game's mechanics. So they were constantly working overtime to set the record straight. So when Maximilian praised Dead or Alive 6 for focusing on making characters look awesome instead of focusing on jiggle bits, people get reasonably upset. I love Max, but the implications of that statement was that the Dead or Alive cast didn't look awesome before, and that's a tad absurd when Mr. Ninja effing Gaiden is right there on the roster. If he really believes that Kasumi, Ayane, and Helena don't look awesome, I'd like him to make a video defending that sentiment. And then when Dead or Alive got snubbed by EVO twice, no one really had their backs. The hope was that someone with higher standing would have said, this is a multi-decade legacy Japanese fighting game, can we at least talk about this? Unfortunately, that's not how things unfolded. But still, I largely agree with you. This resentment serves no one. You can't change the past. If we want Dead or Alive 7, people should probably start trying to sell the franchise to new fans. So when I came to him and said, like, I think that we are going at this really hard. I think the Dead or Alive community is doing a lot of gatekeeping. I know that term is overly used. He came with a more understanding approach. However, he did agree we are taking this, a little bit too far. I wanted to kind of not defend Max, but he has not shied away from playing Dead or Alive games in the past. He's not shied away from criticizing them. And I just think that his tweet that when he's talking about Dead or Alive 6 that everybody has been, talking about, I think it was taken a little bit out of context. Now, Dead or Alive 6 did kind of shoot themselves in the foot. They said, oh, they marketed it as like a serious fighter. And on the other hand, they had two girls come out jumping up and down saying, look at the physics of their boobs and look, it looks like a real person. They went and tried to appease both the casual kind of Gooner fans and they went to go appease the serious fighter fans, and they ended up pleasing nobody. And then they really shot themselves in the foot with the paid DLC. They wanted to like pay to change colors. They made a lot of really bad decisions with Dead or Alive 6, but it doesn't take away from mechanically the game was very sound. It still is very sound. In its defense, Dead or Alive has always praised its beautiful female characters, but it also has great looking male characters as well. I don't like that Dead or Alive is constantly targeted as this kind of gooner game when it's incredibly complex. It has great mechanics, it's incredibly difficult to play, and on top of that, games like Street Fighter and Tekken also have the jiggle physics. They also have the sexy outfits for the female characters and the male characters as well. I don't know why Dead or Alive gets all this criticism, and I think Temp, when he talks about Dead or Alive being snubbed out of Evo twice, that was really hard to take. I understand why people are mad at Max, because during that time it would have been great for the biggest voice in the fighting game community to be like, hey, can we at least talk about this? Can we at least defend Dead or Alive as a really good mechanical game? Like he said, it was a very good game mechanically. That should be a part of it. But at the time, they snubbed it out and nobody was there to defend it. And that's why a lot of people are upset. Now, about him respecting the game, you're allowed to respect something you don't really love. I hate country music. I will say that till the day I do not like country music, but I will respect Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson for their contribution to music. I don't particularly like it, but I will respect them. And I feel like people should be able to do the same thing as well. You don't have to be a Dead or Alive fan or an Itagaki fan for that matter to appreciate what he's done in the past. I mean, the guy created the soft body system. Like, yeah, it was started the jiggle physics thing, but the hair, the clothes, the skin, you know, all the different movements, that was because of the engine that he helped develop. You know, I think we should give respect even if you don't like it. So if you're a Tekken fan, if you're a Street Fighter fan, all the different things, you know, he kind of started that whole trend. But this whole approach that the community has, and this is where I kind of get a little hard on at least the Dead or Alive community that's criticizing these people who are now appreciating the game and criticizing Max Dude. It kind of reminds me of the metalheads and the punk rockers when I was in high school, because there's always two approaches to it. And it was, oh, I was listening to them before they got big, or it was, that's not real punk rock, or that's not real metal. There was always people who were like, you know, oh, I just found this band named Disturbed. Oh, Disturbed, that's not real metal. Do you need to listen to the Black Dahlia Murder? That's real metal. Or you get people who are like, oh, I like Blink-182. That's not real punk rock. You need to listen to NoFX. NoFX is real punk rock. You're not a real punk rocker if you listen to Blink-182. Be the people who are like, oh, I really like Green Day. Oh, really? You like Green Day? I was there back then before they got famous. Oh, great. I'm glad that you were there. I'm glad that, you know, you think that these bands are not real metal. I'm sorry for being brash about this, but I don't like that the Dead or Alive, you know, some people in the Dead or Alive community are like kind of criticizing those who are now appreciating the game. I think we need to switch our mindset. I know this is gonna sound, you know, really brash, but from pride and arrogance to forgiving and inviting. Now, when I say that, I mean like we need to drop the ego, drop the pride. Yeah, you were there defending Dead or Alive before. And, you know, we appreciate that. We appreciate when you were defending Dead or Alive 5 and 6. But right now is a time when we need to be like, thank you. I'm so glad you are now appreciating Dead or Alive. Please come. We would love for you to play this game. Let me show you how to play this game. Now is the time when we should be like, yeah, I forgive you for not appreciating it before. Thank you for appreciating it now. We're glad you're here. Please come in. We want to make more Dead or Alive fans. We want more people to play this game. Now here's where I get to the more important part, is with the Emery reigns with his tweet. Master, who is the community manager for Koei Tecmo America, he challenged him to get 10,000 views on a certain tweet that was appreciating Dead or Alive 4, which is my personal favorite Dead or Alive game. And if he got 10,000 views, he said, I'll go tell Koei Tecmo development team we need to get started on Dead or Alive 7. Here's the actual video.
If you get 10,000 likes on your Twitter post, I will tell the team to start to try to make another DOA.
Hey,
and guess what? He actually did it. This should be a time that unifies, that brings everyone together, that brings all the fighting game community and the Dead or Alive fans, the OG Dead or Alive fans, and every in between the newcomers and the old heads and bring us all together and be like, hey, we really appreciate Dead or Alive. We want another Dead or Alive game. We got 10,000 people, not just to view, but to like this tweet. And if we want another Dead or Alive game, if we want to show Koei Tecmo we want another game, we need to be a lot more like, come and play this game. We love this game. Let's show you why we love this game. We need more Dead or Alive fans at this moment. It's already a niche game. We need more people. We need people to really appreciate it in the way that we appreciate it, because I love this game. I want this game to be recreated, remade, made sequels, because I love this franchise. The story is fantastic. The characters are fantastic. Everything about this game is amazing. The mechanics, the movement. This is one of my favorite fighting games of all time and favorite game franchises of all time. And I understand for Emery Reigns' tweet is a long shot. It's a long shot for Koei Tecmo to look at what's going on and to be like, oh wow, they got 10,000 views. Let's start making another Dead or Alive game. I understand that's a long shot, but I don't think we should undermine it. So please, Dead or Alive fans, let's be a lot more inviting. And I don't want to sound all kumbaya and everything, but I don't think this is the right time to criticize. I think this is the time to really be inviting and be open and get more people to play this game, because I want another Dead or Alive. And I know Dead or Alive fans want another game. I want this franchise to thrive. I would love for this franchise to thrive. So please, let's stop criticizing new fans, newfound appreciators. Stop criticizing Max Dude and be a lot more inviting. That's what I hope for, and I really would love another Dead or Alive game. So thanks for watching. If you like this more open forum that I'm doing, comment down below. If you want more videos like this, I typically put a little bit more production into my videos. So yeah, if you've seen videos of the past, I don't typically do things like this. Until next time, this is Shred, out.